Good morning, beautiful people of the world. Good morning to you. It's Monday. Again. It is Monday. September 15th, 2025. I had said I was going to leave out at 5:30. That did not happen. How y'all doing this morning? How you doing? How your mama and them doing? How's everybody doing this morning? Whew. Cannot believe that the weekend went by that fast. But it did. It did. I still didn't get no windshield solving for this car. Put it in this evening. Anywho, you guys, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're doing swell. I hope your day is doing good, that you are good, and life is grand. My mama messed me up yesterday. I didn't get a chance to do my video because she made me think that she was going to stay for the afternoon service. She didn't. Let me say this. You know, my mother is the sweetest, but she's very indecisive a lot of times. You know, she'll say, let's go here, and then I get here. Well, we don't have to go, that kind of thing. And it pissed me off because why did you make me think that you were going to stay when you weren't? I'm going to say this. There was no need for them to go to church yesterday. Now, I know y'all probably saying, Sherelle, Cece. The whole purpose of going yesterday, it was the church anniversary. So they were having a program at the church. And she made me think that, yeah, you know, we really want to go because we're going to stay after church. I knew that they were going to, because she took snacks. They asked everybody to bring some. So Christopher had the cupcakes or the whatever they had. So I just was under the impression that they were going to stay. I kid you all not. First of all, the streets were you had to detour every which way because they were having the Mexican Independence Parade or something to that nature, right? So you couldn't get down this street. You couldn't get down that street. You couldn't get down here. You couldn't get down there. So I had to go down one-way streets to try to figure out how to get out and get them to church. So it took us at least 20 to 25 minutes to finagle through that. Okay? She knew that this parade was yesterday. The church told them. They sent out text messages. They had texted her and said, and she knew this the week prior. So my thing was, okay, you knew this. So by the time I got her there, good. And I'm not lying to y'all. I got her there like at, church starts at 11:30, or I think they leave at 11:30. So I think church starts like 11:40, 11:45. I don't know. The church is not that far. By the time I got her there, and I came back and sat down and ate my breakfast, she was texting, talking about they were ready. I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. I said, what do you mean you ready? I kid y'all not. They were there 1 hour. Why you have to go? Why? Why did you have to go? Why did you have to go to church? She texted me back. I dropped them off like close to noon. Remember I said in another video, I said I know they were late. 1:30. She was texting me. And see, this is why I didn't want to do it. This is why I kept on saying, no, you can drive yourself over there. But it was a good thing that she didn't, because she would have been very, very confused. I know I know that the church is off of Baltimore. You know, you can go down Baltimore and come up, and the church is off of Commercial. She would have been very confused. Very, very confused, because she's gone down one-way streets coming back home. So the lady that lived next door to the bishop, she showed her a different way to go. Now, we've been living over there in that area for 55 years. Well, she has, and I grew up over there. So I know a little something, but all of those streets most of those streets are one ways. So she had told me that she had been going down one-way streets. So I knew that. So I knew that she would be confused. But I'm like, why did you go and you were only going to be there for an hour? Why did you make me think that you were going to be there for the dinner and I was going to stay? So she blew my whole day on yesterday. By the time I got back, I kid you not, the car hadn't even got cool. Good. I was going back over there to pick them up. So I didn't get to shoot no video. I didn't come on live. I was pissed. Seriously, I was pissed. She just blew my whole, I wasn't in the mood to do nothing. And I was like, and she knows that most of the time I do film on Sunday if it's a fashion haul. And I was thinking to myself, I'm so glad that this was not a sponsored video that I had to do for somebody that needed me to get this video out. I was just like, why did you? And I just didn't say nothing, but I was like, next time they have something over there, stay at home. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I didn't have an issue with dropping her off, but for you to only go there for an hour, not less than an hour. She texted me back, she said, you can pick us up at 1:30. I'm looking at the clock, I'm like, I just sat down. I've started watching the documentary of Katrina, Hurricane Katrina. I finished it last night. I'm going to talk about that, but I had just literally sat down and started watching that. Finishing it. Well, no, started to watch it. And I could not believe that and there was no way for me to do the video, because they would have been there. She said, well, I can wait till you done. I was beyond annoyed. I ain't gonna even lie. I was so annoyed. And I said, come now? She's like, yeah, we done. What? Why did you have to? I just, like I said, it was a whole obstacle course to get over there. She kept insisting it's the church anniversary. Okay, but why are you back already? Winter is coming, and I'm going to tell you all this now. I ain't doing that crap in the wintertime when it's cold, freezing, snow, and all of that. I ain't doing that. Because, you know, a lot of times they don't plow the streets. And Christopher didn't want to go. He didn't want to go to church. I don't know why he didn't want to go, but he didn't. She said, I don't think he really wanted to go. You know, you had days like that. Just like you don't feel like going to work, you don't feel like going to school, whatever. I'm like, you could have stayed home. You could have stayed home since you were not going to stay. I get it was a church anniversary, but if it was a church anniversary and they were sitting down to eat, and why? She's like, well, you know, I don't eat everybody cooking. Anyway, so y'all didn't get a video yesterday because of that. Like I said earlier, she don't ask me for much or ask me to do much, but she don't ask me to do much, but I try to be, like I said, I try to be accommodating, and I try to be there and do things that she needs. But to me, that was just, she could have stayed home. And that's how I felt. I just didn't say that. I'm like, you could have stayed home. You could have stayed home if you was only going to be there 45 minutes until an hour. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, you know how I grew up, church anniversary is another program. You know, they have dinner, you know. So I just went on and went back and got them, and then we went to get something to eat. But I was so annoyed. And see, it's hard to make content on Saturday because we ripping and running on Saturday, you know. Usually Sunday, I try on Sunday to lay in the bed a little bit longer, even sometime on Saturday, you know. But it's always something that got to be done, that need to be done, this, that, and the third. And I was fit to be tired. So didn't get a chance to do that. And the whole thing is that I'm trying to do videos and lives, trying to make a certain revenue before the end of the month. Because if you don't make that $100 quota, you got to wait till the next month to get your money. I've already made it, but I'm trying to get to a certain quota, like $300 by the end of the month. So by her knocking me off, or me not doing that, you know, not doing the video, they kind of knocked my money back. And then I didn't come live, because by the time I ate, I ended up taking a nap at her house because I was tired. I was just like, forget it, I'll just come on live today. And that's what I'll do. I'll just come on live today. So anywho, that's how my Sunday went. Things that I had intended to do, I didn't get a chance to do. And I was glad that I hadn't started recording, because had she texted or whatever, I would have missed it. Because when you're recording, sometimes it don't let you know. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, but it's Monday again. Thank God we are here to see another day. Amen, somebody. It is so dark out here. Grateful and thankful to God for that. And then she was like, see, that's why, I guess because she could see the look on my face. She was like, see, that's why I like to just drive myself over here. And I was like, yeah, but you couldn't drive yourself over here because the streets was closed, and you would have been lost and confused, and you would have been calling me. You would have been calling me. When I tell you my sister gets off the hook, baby, oh my God. Now that she's going to get her hair done, she switched stylists and it's closer to the house. She says she's going to drive herself there. That was something that my sister was supposed to do. You see my face, right? She does nothing. Nothing. She used to come in, and she's come to my mother's house every day before she started dating Ugly. And then after started dating ugly, she started coming less. Then she got married and she stopped coming at all. My mother never sees her during the week. She's lucky if she sees her on the weekend. Most Saturdays, some Saturdays she do come back, but she never called my mother and asked my mother, like, do you need anything, or can I take you to the store, or blah blah. Never. It's always me. Always. And part of that is because my mother and I are always together. I said, yeah, but we always together because she'll never come and take you nowhere or ask you anything. Like, how do you have an 81-year-old mother? Yeah, I know she's not the kind of 81 where, she needs you to do a whole lot for her. She's very, very self-sufficient. How do you not ask her, is there anything that she needs? How do you go all week and don't call your mother and ask your mother, do she need something? I'm confused. And I've had this conversation with my sister more than once. And she was doing stuff, and now she's back to doing nothing. So you know what? I don't have nothing else to say. I don't have nothing else to say. Speaking of her, did I tell you all this? I don't think I told you all this. So, Ugly, her husband, he got stung by a bee. Thank you for going around with them bright lights. Yep, he got stung by a bee, y'all, and his arm swelled all up. So my sister told my mother that on Saturday, she did go over that Saturday for a brief moment because they were going to a retirement party and she needed this shawl. And she had asked did anybody have a black shawl for this dress she was wearing. And my mother told her she had one for her to come get it. And I knew they were on their way over there Saturday. I purposely did not go over there until I knew they were gone, because I did not want to have to even speak to him, let alone have conversation, because I ain't got none. So when I walked in, my mother said, you missed your favorite person. I was like, I knew they were coming. I said, I purposely took my time getting over here because I did not want to run into them. I was hoping that they would be gone. Why he had to come with her to get a shawl was beyond me, but whatever, I don't know. So anyway, she said, yeah. She said, he got stung by a bee. And I chuckled. I said, really? She's like, yeah. She said, and your sister was complaining, talking about how he had been such a big baby and complaining, and his arm swelled all up. I said, yeah, he's probably allergic to bees. I said, but he should be allergic to fucking with people too and trying to be a goddamn bully, because I believe he's been a bully all his life. Because his best friend told me that's how they met, and he bullied him. So he used to bullying motherfuckers. That's what he used to doing. So yeah, he got stung by a bee. First the TV, then he had to spend money on a car battery, then he had to spend money on a starter, and then he got stung by a bee. My mother was like, what you do? You put some kind of hex on him? I said, no. He was laughing. I said, no. I said, I don't even know how to put a hex on somebody. She said, boy, he catching it. I said, good. He need to catch even more. You know, it'd be different if I wasn't, that I was like, oh, well, I don't know when I can pay you. Or I don't know. What. No, that wasn't even the case. That was not even the case. And he knew that. He knew that. Now, when I give him this $33 next week or Friday or whatever, he better not say shit to me. And I do mean nothing to me. He better not come back with, oh, you owe you some fucking lie. Because believe me, I have kept up with it. I got my receipts, what I Zelled him, and he better not come with no bullshit. Because you know he broke. He probably broke right about now because he had to pay that $600 for that starter. So I don't want to hear no bullshit. Because that's how he is. And I'm going to tell him, look, this is what she said. When my sister sent the total of what I owed and what my mother owed, I'm saying this is what she said I owe. I'm saying this is what I paid you. I'm not paying another dime. If he said, well, she got it wrong, I don't give a fuck what she got wrong. This is what she texted, and this is what I paid. And I'm not paying you nothing else. That's where I am with him, because I don't trust him, because he owns bullshit. I don't trust you. Once you show me what a dirty motherfucker you are, and how low down you are, and how you gonna try to threaten somebody, Nope. And normally I would ask my sister, like, oh, I heard, Greg got stung by a bee. How's his arm? I ain't asked him nothing. Nothing. I ain't asked her nothing. I ain't asked her nothing about it. Like I said, normally I would ask her. If my mother would have told me that, I would have said something to her. I said nothing. When she talked about the car, I text back, wow. You better be careful how you treat people. That's all I'm going to say. That goes for me, you, and anybody else. You better be careful how you treat people. I shall return. careful how you treat folks. That shit will backfire on you quickly. And it did. Did he take my space? Damn. This motherfucker. What you doing here so damn early?
I said I'm in old school every day. I came back from Detroit at 9 last night. I got decent rest. Just got my ass up.
I feel you. You in my spot.
Hey, I got you today.
Okay. I'm like, it's only 6:03 here. Never here this early. People see you park somewhere, and here they come. Oh, well, I got this one. I ain't gonna complain. I'm telling you, we be fighting for parking spots. You know, he sees that I get here early. And so now he getting here this early. Whatever. Anyway, that's my boy, but still. That's why when I pulled in, I'm like, he here already, because he never get here this early. We don't start at 7. It's 6:05. We get here this early, we be fighting for parking. I mean, parking space. Fighting. That's why when that guy across the street parked here, I was like, how you gonna park here? We fighting amongst ourselves, you know? But I'm just gonna say this. And I've said it on this channel, on videos before. You cannot do people wrong. You cannot do people wrong and think that there is no consequences behind it. It's gonna be some consequences. Just like Charlie Kirk. The consequences was that he lost his life. Now, in my opinion, and I'm not God, and I'm not the universe, and I don't have no control over how God decides to do, or the devil. See, that's another thing. People got to realize, you know, just like there's a God, there's a devil. So whichever way or however way your fate is, me personally, I feel as though he shouldn't have died. But I feel that it would have been better if he had been paralyzed and been here to suffer. See, death is too easy. People like him, people like Trump. No, you need to be here to suffer. You all know the story of Bruce Willis, the actor. He has dementia. Young man. And Wendy Williams has dementia. Same type of disease. The football player, his wife has dementia. My point is that these people are good people. I know a lot of people don't like or didn't like Wendy Williams because she was a gossip. You know, she talked about people, whatever. But she still wasn't as bad as this person. And they're suffering. They're in their own little world suffering. Bruce Willis cannot even speak anymore. And with that type of dementia, this can go on for years until eventually they will die, because the brain continues, something in your brain continues to happen until you completely gone. But you can have dementia and be in that stage of dementia for 10, 15 years. And so I guess my point is that he got off easy. The young lady who got on the train that came from Ukraine for a better life, she got on the train, she sat down, she was on her phone. And this man who suffered, and mother tried to get him professional help. But because mental health is not taken seriously in this country, we care more about you owning a gun. We care more about cutting food for American people. He got up and he stabbed this young woman in her neck. Several times he stabbed her in her neck. And he killed her. And she died alone on that bus, on that train. She hit the floor and she bled out and she died. And the people that were sitting around her did not help her. And I don't even know if they realized that she had been stabbed, but he stabbed her. Not once, not twice, I believe 4 times in the neck. The video was just as horrific as what happened to Charlie Kirk. And we want to hang flags at half-staff for Charlie Kirk, who was a racist. But you have not talked about this woman that was killed by this black man who was criminally schizophrenic. You know, I know about that because I lost my grandparents to a mentally ill person that suffered from schizophrenia. My grandmother was only 63, she might have been 65 when she died. I have to ask my mother. She was young. Because my mother was not that old. My mother was young. I was 16 and my sister she was 20. Yeah, she was 20. So my mother was maybe in her mid-40s when that happened. So, you know, from 1986, when my grandparents were murdered by a person who suffered from schizophrenia. Hold on, you all. This eyelash. Yeah, I put some eyelashes on today. From 1986 to 2025, We have made no progress in mental illness in this country. We made no progress. His mother said she tried to get him help. She did everything she could. But there are no mental facilities or programs available. So you have all of these mentally ill people walking around in your neighborhoods, on the bus, standing outside of the grocery store when you go to get your groceries, standing outside of food, standing out in front of food, fast food places when you go through the drive-through. They standing there begging you for money, and they mad when you don't give them no money, and they go off. I was in the drive-through line about 2 years ago at a White Castle's. And the day before, I was with a coworker, and he had wanted some White Castles. And we went to White Castles, and the man was sitting there on this metal beam. And so he was asking people for money. So we blew the horn, and we gave him $10. I gave $5, and my coworker gave $5. The very next day, I went back to that White Castles in the morning to get a sandwich. And he was sitting there, and I had ordered my food, and I just happened to look over at him. He went off. "What the fuck you looking at, bitch? You ugly bitch." He just went off. "You better turn your motherfucking head, blah, blah, blah." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm the same person who handed you the money yesterday. But you're obviously dealing with a person who's mentally ill. This man who killed this young lady on the train, when his sister talked to him while he was in jail, they played the recording. He said, "Yeah, I heard that this girl got killed on the train." Who would do something like that? Who would kill somebody? A stranger. He's talking in the third person. He don't even realize that he did it. My uncle has done, and still to this day, he has no recollection that he killed his mother and father. My grandparents, my mother's stepfather, and my mother's mother. He told my mother, he said, "What happened? I heard, I know they gone. Are they investigating? And are they trying to find the people who killed them?" My mother has told him several times. She has asked him. She said, she's asked him. He has said, no, he did not do that. He's even cried on the phone. He has, to this day, he's 70 some years of age. When he killed them, he was 32, 33. He's 71. He has no memory of murdering my grandmother and my grandfather. And my mother would get so mad after she would talk to him, because she tried for years and years. He would write her. Nobody else in the family, nobody, except for her oldest brother. Her oldest brother that lived in Delaware came here, and he drove to Elgin, to the facility that he's in. None of the other siblings wanted anything to do with him, rightfully so. My mother said her mother came to her in a dream and told her to look after him. And so my mother did for years. And then she just stopped because he said something to her about them, and my mother just lost it. And she has not picked up the phone or wrote him. The case managers, they would always stay in contact with my mother, let my mother know what was going on when he had an episode or whatever. She don't talk. My mother don't talk to nobody. My mother said, I'm just too old and I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to deal with it at all. She said, I've done and I've been the one and I'm not doing it no more. So recently, not so long ago, he wrote my mother's brother a letter. And he never asks or says that he did anything. He does not he's never admitted it. And when I heard this man that killed this girl on the train say what he said, I said, it reminded me of my uncle. So, we're in 2025 where we got all this modern technology. We got TikTok, YouTube. None of this stuff was out in 1986. We got TikTok, we got YouTube, we got Facebook, we got this new thing called Threads, we got Twitter, we got iPads, we got iPhones, we got computers, we got everything you want to know. All you got to do is Google it. But we cannot get a handle on guns in this country, and we cannot help mentally ill people. We don't have a cure for cancer. So they say, excuse me. In 2025. In 2025, you have people that are still sick with COVID, still dying of COVID every day, still dying from diabetes, sickle cell anemia. We're not safe. You have more school shootings in this country than anywhere else in the world. We're not prepared for anything in this country. It's all about the rich getting richer. And all we want to talk about and give homage to a man that hated black people. They talked about black women. But who we have in office is a stone cold Hitler. And you all don't even notice, y'all don't even recognize that. We have a Hitler in the White House who cares nothing about black people or even white people for that matter. He only like you if you got it. He's a rapist. You see how now the Epstein files, one vote, and they're not releasing the files. You know why? Because they know that Trump is all in them Epstein files. He's a pedophile. He's a rapist. He's a murderer. And yet, he's a felon. He's a felon. He's got more. How many felons? How many charges was against him? And yet, he's the president of the United States of America. Now, if nothing is wrong with that, but black men go to jail for a certain percentage of weed and still in jail. And this motherfucker and did all kinds of shit. He's the president. Y'all stood there and y'all voted for him. Black and white. Not just white folk. It's a lot of white people that didn't vote for him. Feel exactly how I feel. But for those of you that stood in line and voted for him, that's what you voted for. That's what you voted for. That's what you voted for. Make America great again. When really it should say make racism great again. People say, oh, he stole the election. Might have. He might have. No doubt. But the fact that you voted, whether he stole it or not, there's people right here on my job, black folk, who stood in my face and told me that they voted for him. And then told me they voted for him because Trump was going to help them, as far as money-wise, Trump would help them with their money. Please explain to me how that makes any motherfucking sense. So them same black folk here at this job that told me that, I said, how much more money do you have since Trump been in office? I'll wait. How much money do you have? Has your life increased? Has your life gotten better since he been in office? Oh, I voted for him because I ain't gonna have to pay taxes. I voted for him. Who not gonna have to pay taxes? Not you, motherfucker. Not you. You ain't got the kind of money that rich folk got that ain't paying taxes. What are you talking about? Yeah, I voted for him because I just believe that this is black folk. I ain't talking about white folk. I'm talking about black folk. My people. Yeah, I voted for him because. So, this one guy that I talked to here at work that I love and really, we really cool. I asked him, I said, okay. I said, have you gotten has life gotten better since he been in office? Because he was sitting up there talking about he went to the grocery store and how groceries was. I said, oh, wait. I said, because when he told me he voted for him, I'm going to tell y'all, I almost stopped talking to him. Because I could not believe that he was that ignorant. And I say this about black people because Trump can't stand us. Trump is the biggest racist. If Trump could get your black ass to go back in them goddamn cotton fields, and there was a way that he could put our asses back in fucking slavery, you would be there. And don't think that he ain't gonna try. Cause all of the Mexicans that were working in those fields picking that the crops for the fruit, he had deported them. And if he ain't deported all of them, he trying. So who you think they gonna have? Who you think they gonna have doing that? I'll wait. Your black ass and my black ass, if he could, and he might. I thought I had a thing of paper towels in here. So he was talking about groceries. He said he had went to this grocery store here in our city called Fair Play. And he was, because we was trying to prepare for this retirement party. And they was talking about they was going to get $50 from everybody. Then when everybody pitch in, get $50. So he said, yeah, we need to ask $50 from everybody. We can't ask for 25 because food is high. I said, oh, whoa. I said, what? He said, you know, food is high. I said, right. I said, but your president, the one you voted for, said that his first 100 days in office, he was going to make sure that the grocery prices came down. Who you voted for? Dang, I forgot to do that other thing. I said, remember when me and you had an argument because you stood here and told me you was voting for him and that life was going to be better? But now you over here talking about you got to ask people for more money because food is high? He just laughed. Your dumb black ass. I'm 99.9% that Trump stole the election. But the motherfuckers that stood there and punched anyway. I don't give a listen, this ain't the first election that been stolen. Bush stole the election against that other man he was running for. Bush was dumb too. Go watch Hurricane Katrina, the documentary, and see how Bush gave a fuck about them. All was black. They were all black at that Superdome and that convention. Babies, elderly, and had the nerve to call black people that lived in America that helped build this country refugees, as if they were not Americans. And yes, they looted the store because they were fucking hungry. You were on vacation, President Bush, knowing that there was a disaster in your country, not in Ukraine, not in Russia, but right here in the United States, New Orleans. You were on vacation, and you stayed on vacation for 3 more fucking days, enjoying your life, while these black people was down in New Orleans, Louisiana, dying and starving to fucking death. Don't tell me nothing about a white ass motherfucker. Don't tell me nothing. Now, hey, I know all white folks ain't the same as what I'm talking about. But what they give a fuck about your black ass or your brown ass, they don't. Go watch the documentary. This bitch, he stayed on vacation. I ain't never liked Bush. I don't give a fuck if him and Obama or Miss Obama be doing the dance and do the Dougie on the dance floor or not. I don't give a fuck. I ain't never liked him or his daddy. He flew over New Orleans and looked at the destruction. Never went to New Orleans. Yeah, Kanye West, he crazy, but he said the correct thing. President Bush don't like black people. And neither does this motherfucking country. And if you think that because we're in 2025 that you cannot be enslaved again, okay. Okay. Black people think, oh, you know, he can't do that to black people. Why not? What make you think he can't? What make you think he can't? Go watch the documentary. Go watch it. Go watch it. Go watch it. They didn't give a fuck about them people in New Orleans. And it was all black people. In the 9th district of New Orleans is all black people. Not a white face was at that Superdome or that convention. Not one. Nothing but black people. Pregnant women. Babies. Older people. People dying. And this motherfucker stayed on his goddamn vacation. Not a state that was somewhere else, but right here in your fucking state, where you the goddamn president. I ain't got no fucking respect for Bush. I ain't got no fucking respect for Trump, and I don't give a fuck about no Charlie Kirk dying. Fuck them. And I said what the fuck I said. And I don't care if you like it or not. Unsubscribe. Go watch it. All you white folks that on here on this YouTube channel, go watch it. And you'll understand why I feel like I feel. I don't hate white people. I don't hate nobody that don't look like me. I don't hate nobody. Nobody. I had just helped an Asian woman the other day that was carrying some bags. And I mean, she was struggling. And I helped her. I would help anybody. Anybody. But how in the fuck do you let 15,000 or more people suffer in heat and go hungry while you ride in a motherfucking airplane and you don't even get your white ass out to go walk and talk to people? Because it was an all-black city. But if it had been lily white with blue eyes and blonde hair, you would have made sure that they had what they needed. And then the white folks were sitting up there talking about how they shot the black people and killed them. Then they had people there that was treating them like they were dogs with their guns out ready to kill them because they were talking about they were looting. They wasn't looting. They were trying to eat. They were trying to change clothes. You had women that it was on their menstrual cycle. Had nothing, no pads, no maxi pads, nothing. People that was going in the bathroom, they said the toilet system, it was starting to, the stench, the smell from the shit. Because they was all going in the bathroom shitting. The toilet systems wasn't working. So they were there floating around in shit. And this guy said, he said when he was there at the Superdome, he said it made him feel like he was back in slavery on the ship. And that's exactly what the fuck it looked like. So don't talk to me about Charlie Kirk. Fuck Charlie Kirk and fuck Charlie Kirk family. They can go spin. He got off easy. He got off easy. Yeah, and I bet, you know what? I hope he in hell with black people. With a big black guy who telling him he can't use the bathroom. Piss on yourself. I'm just angry at how black people have been treated in their own country that they helped build. See, you all want to get on TikTok and you all want to do the new dance, but you don't even know the history of what black people did in this country to help build this country. On the backs of our ancestors. Now, I know I may offend some of you all because this is not the jolly, nice video. But this is how I feel. This is how I feel. I watched that shit and I was pissed the fuck off. I was. And Bush didn't do shit. People say, well, I like Bush a little bit more than Trump. I don't. Never have. Never have. He ain't no different. He ain't no different. Go watch it. Go watch it. I ain't never liked him. Never have I liked him. He ain't shit either. He done said some derogatory shit about women with his daddy. There's a tape of him talking about pussy. I don't like him either. But when Obama got in office, they drug him. They even allowed Trump, who wasn't even in office, he had to show his birth certificate and all of this bullshit. He wasn't even in office. I don't think he's an American. We need to see his birth certificate. Woo. Yeah, that's what they allowed. You can find the documentary on Netflix and Hulu. Get off of TikTok and YouTube and go watch it. Black people in this country have been treated the worst from the time they brought us over here. They called them refugees. Refugees. And then people lived in that city, worked in that city. When black people tell me that they vote or have voted for Trump, it raises my blood pressure. It does. When I hear black people say, oh, I don't vote just because they're black. Why not? What do you think white people do? What do you think these white Republicans are doing? We always trying to be the goddamn savior for everybody. We are so programmed and so conditioned to do that because that's what we did in slavery. Well, I'm a vote for him. I'm not gonna vote for him or her, even though I know they qualified, or even if they might not be qualified. I'm not gonna vote. I'm not gonna vote for nobody just because they black. Why not? What you think white folks do? What do you think they do? That's just how dumb we are. So the same black people that tell me that they voted for Trump, how is your life better? Are you has your rent went down? Same black people that voted for Trump. Come talk to me when you get cut off of that snap. Who you think doing that? The boogeyman? Okay. Wake the fuck up. But I implore everybody on this video that's watching this video, go watch Hurricane Katrina. Watch it. I think it's 3 episodes. Go watch it. I dare you to go watch it. Tell me how many white people you see that was at that Superdome. Tell me. I bet you can't come back and tell me it was a lot. I bet you can't tell me that it was 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or a whole family. I bet you. When them levees broke, huh? Well, don't get this on here. The way those people suffered, it was inhumane. It was unbelievable. They went 6 to 7 days without food and water. And when they started to loot, instead of President Bush sending in troops, because all our troops was in another country fighting, but the troops that were here, instead of him sending them to help them, you know what they sent them in to do? To shoot them. They had their guns ready to shoot black people that had been displaced and houses had been underwater. And they were just trying to get out of there and get help. And right now today, that was 20 some years ago. That happened in 2005. We're in 2025. The 9th district in New Orleans right now is still not being rebuilt. And then when they did rebuild some areas of the 9th ward, the rent that they were paying, they tripled it. So you couldn't even move back there if you wanted to. Welcome to America. Welcome to America to take care of who? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure some of y'all gonna get on here. Y'all gonna want to come at me and, oh, CC this, CC, you can kiss the crack of my ass. I don't care what color you are. Like I said, you got a problem with what I say or how I say it, unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. Because I don't really give a fuck about being liked. Excuse me. That shit pissed me off. And here we are in 2025, where we have a president who is targeting black cities with black mayors. He's sitting in the National Guard, martial law. Don't tell me shit about racism. Because the same people, when I go live, it's the same racist ass white folks that try to call me a nigga on my live streams. Something about how to grow a Negro and all of that. Same people that come on my live and call me a nigga. So, I'm going to say this again. Fuck Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk family. And anybody that love him and wanted to suck his dick. Death was too easy for him. He should have got shot up and suffered right here on earth. But I hope he is burning the fuck up in hell, and I hope he's surrounded by a whole lot of black people and black women. Because your bitch ass ain't in heaven, and his wife all over his casket. Oh, he told me he loved me every day. He told me he loved me every day. I'm tired of looking at her ugly ass on TV too. Go sit the fuck down. Black people don't care. And I'm one of them. His children were spared, having a father raise them to be a racist like him. Took you from your children. So that's why when people want to get on, they want to talk about him, or all this shit, they want to fly these flags for him. And I said all that I said because the fact that you want to fly a flag, for somebody that was like he was, what does it tell you about your country? And I'm sick of them talking about it on the news. I'm sick of them talking about it on every channel. I don't give a fuck about him. The fact that black people didn't even know who he was, that says a whole lot. You better wake the fuck up, because there's more Charlie Kirks out here. You just don't know, but they're here. You got a Charlie Kirk working right next to you on your motherfucking job. You got a Charlie Kirk that live right next door to you, that you speak to and say, hey, good morning, every morning. You got a Charlie Kirk in the grocery store. You got a Charlie Kirk that's, in charge of something that you need. So death was too easy. No, should have just shot the fuck up and been paralyzed. Or not, maybe, should have got shot in the neck and not, should have been able to live and not ever, should have been able to ever speak again in life. To spew all the words and the hate that you spewed. But you got all of these kids, them white children, that was at school, minding their business, kneeling, praying. And here come a white guy, a psychopath, that shoots through the stained glass window and killed 2 of them babies and injured a whole lot more children. But that's okay. Have you heard them talk about that anymore? Okay. But what's trending is Charlie Kirk. Have you heard them talk about the woman that I just said that got stabbed on the train? Have you heard them talking about the school in the same week, on the same day, there was a school that was shot up? Have we heard anything else about that? No. all about Charlie Kirk. Hold on. Lonnie, Vanessa here today? I said, is Vanessa here today?
I didn't see her. I don't think she hit it.
I don't think she, yeah, maybe she's off. I ain't got no key. You know, all you keep hearing about all weekend long, Charlie Kirk. Oh, Charlie Kirk. All day long. All weekend. And I'm sure they're going to interrupt television programs when they bury this bitch. A racist. But that's what our country is about. If you a racist, you hate black people, we give you the highest honors. If you hate black people, if you don't like black people, you get to be the president of the United motherfucking States. Anyway, let me let y'all go. I might not get monetized for this video, but I don't give a fuck. I may lose some of y'all after today. I don't give a fuck about that either. And to my white YouTube subscribers who I've come to love and adore, I still love you. But them folks in y'all race that ain't right. I said what I said. And until we talk about the real shit that's happening in America, we had Hurricane Katrina, but we had more hurricanes. It just ain't came by water. And all these white people that's on Snap, it ain't black folk, it's y'all. You finna cut you the fuck off. If you was getting 600, now you finna get 200. Wait. But if you stood your white ass in line to go vote for that bitch, if you black and you voted for him, you know. It's getting ready to get real. By November, over 4,000 Americans, over 4,000 people here in Illinois, SNAP benefits will be cut. You will not be able to go into the grocery store and buy food. And people that are on SNAP, it is not people that don't work and that's sitting at home being lazy. It's people that's out here working, but they're only making minimum wage, and then they got a two income house, and they cannot feed their family off of what they make, and they need help and assistance. And then when he's cut the SNAP, what's coming next is when you get that all kids insurance, where you have insurance and your kid have insurance. He gonna cut that too. But again, if you stood in line and you stood behind that polling booth and you punched his fucking name, I'm sorry, I just don't feel sorry for you. Because you didn't read Project 2025 and you said, oh, and I heard this from so many black people, oh, that's on SNAP and on public assistance, say this to me. This is what I heard them say to me. Oh, that ain't gonna affect me. That what he doing ain't gonna affect me. Okay. I know somebody personally that said that to me, that I know gets SNAP and receives public assistance. They ain't even gonna vote. because they said it wasn't going to affect them. Okay, well, let's see. And if you think crime is bad, it's going to be worse, because when you cut food, people are going to people are going to do whatever they got to do to get food. So you're going to hear about more people being carjacked, more people being robbed, more people being hurt, because people are going to be desperate. You take food away. When you have food insecurity in this country, you got a problem. In the United States of Great America, we got more homeless people than we have people that own homes. And now you gonna cut? Okay. But if you stood in line and hit his name, if you didn't get up off your ass and go vote, anyway, y'all, have a great Monday. That's all I got. All I'm going to say is be inspired. And let's get ready, because it's about to be a huge fight going on. Get ready to rumble. If you are concealed and carry, I suggest you carry it. I suggest you carry it, because once you take food out of the mouths of children, you a low down motherfucker, Trump. And all your Republicans that don't do shit but suck your dick, all I can say is I pray that some of you all get exactly what Charlie Kirk got, because you deserve it. I ain't having no party, but guess what? I'ma clap when your bitch ass is gone. Because when you stop feeding babies, when you stop helping the poor, because it's going to always be the poor. I don't care if they white or black. And we know that it's more white folks on public assistance than it is black folks. When you start taking food out of babies' mouths, you a low down dirty motherfucker. Anyway, y'all, have a great Monday. I'll be back on live later, but I ain't gonna talk about this on live later. Okay? Have a good day. All right, peace and blessings.